Tzaddik, Rabbi Eli Melech of the Zins, Rizat Hashem, Zkuto Yaged Alenu V'Kol Yisrael, Amen. We're going to be learning about Chametz and Matzah today, Rizat Hashem. We have a few weeks left until Pesach, and this is the main idea of dealing with Chametz and Matzah. It's a mitzvah that's karet, right? It's potentially a soul could be cut off for dealing with Chametz on Pesach. So we have to understand these things in depth and understand what exactly is what's the inyan, why is it so important to deal with Chametz on Pesach. In the Zohar Kadosh, in the Holy Zohar, it says that Chametz is a hint to the Yetzer Hara, to the evil inclination. Shua se'or shebe'isa. The Yetzer Hara is the yeast that's inside the dough, right? Meaning that thing that causes it to rise, that gives it the flavor, that gives it everything that, like, all the
yeast.
What's like the word, like the ego, right? All the tastiness, all the good of the bread that makes you want to eat it, right? Ki kamosha seor mitarev beisa, like the seor, like this yeast, this rising agent that goes inside the dough, umachmitz et kula, and it causes it to rise. ככה יצר הרע רוצה להיכנס באדם, להכניס בו רוח זרה, ובזה להחמיץ אותו וקלקלו. Just so too, the same thing, the evil inclination, the Yetzer Hara wants to come inside a person, to bring inside a foreign spirit into him, and by way of this, to lachmitz oto, in Hebrew lachmitz, like chametz, that word chametz is to miss an opportunity, it's to cause to go bad, it's to sour, chometz in Hebrew is sour, pickles are called chamutzim, right? So this sourness, this missed opportunity, right? And this ruining of the stature of the man. So the Yetzer Hara is trying to come into a person pretty much and to mess him up. The Yetzer Hara has a lot of different things. Many ways to try to break a person down and to cause him to fall into what's called chametz. The main way that the Yetzer Hara tries to cause a person to become chametz is by putting into a person pride. It's the root of all the bad in the world. Right? Because in the person, it has pride. In the end, no matter whether he's successful or a failure, it's all about him. Right? וזה נרמז בכך שהחמץ תופח והתפיחה מורה על הגאווה והרגשת המציאות והחשיבות. Right? How is this hinted? Because in chametz is what causes the rising, the expansion of the dough, right? And that tficha, that rising of the dough, is exactly what shows pride and this feeling of I have my own importance and my own reality, and I am something special and I am important. Ulumato, hamatzah mesamelet et kedusha. Right? On the other side, matzah is the sign of kedusha. Ki ein ba tficha, because it doesn't rise. V'zeh mora al hanava v'achna'ah. This shows it's a sign of bitul, pretty much, right? Of nullifying a person and humility. Matzah teaches us about emunah in Hashem. And when a person has emunah, a clear emunah in the reality of Hashem, and it's clear to him that ein od milvado yitbarach, azay mimele hu nichna u'mitbatel lefanav yitbarach. Then when you realize that there's nothing besides Hashem, you know the reality, then straight away you nullify yourself in front of Hashem. Meaning, the matzah, matzah has the ability to put into a person emunah. It reminds us of the miracles of the Exodus of Egypt. Then Hashem showed the eyes of everybody that there's nothing besides Hashem. And then internally, spiritually, Hashem put into the mitzvah of eating matzah a very unique spiritual light that has the ability to drill into a Jew clear emunah and recognition of Hashem. And then straight away you're going to leave false pride and you're going to live with bitul and humility and dvekut, trying to cling to Hashem. Right? And they call matzah the bread of emunah. meaning, right? Why? Ki lechem sheyesh bo koach la'ir lenefesh ha'adam et ha'emet elokidis. Bread that has the ability to illuminate inside the soul of the person the godly truth. La'avir lo b'yidiyah she'rak ha'borei yitbarach hu kol ha'koach. Right? And to show the Jew that there's no power besides Hashem, it's just Hashem. Right? Matzah nikat lechem. Matzah is called lechem. It's called bread. In a lechem is 78, which is 3 times Yud Kei Vav Kei. Okay, 3 times 26.
What is lechem?
Lechem, bread, right? Lamed, Chet, and Mem is 3 times 26, 3 times Yud Kei Vav Kei, which is 1 to the right, 1 to the left, and 1 in front of you. To show that you're all the time surrounded by the light of Hashem that is guarding you and giving you life and protecting you and leading you in life. And why is it specifically by way of bread that this is hinted? Because spiritually and physically, bread is the basis of life, for its sustenance of life for mankind. And therefore Hashem Yud Kei Vav Kei, which is about the godly light that is bringing life into the creation at all times, there it's hinted and it's shown in the word lechem, in this word of bread in Hebrew, in Lashon HaKodesh. Le'orot, to show that the bread itself is nothing. Only because of the Yud Kei Vav Kei, the 3 times Yud Kei Vav Kei on the right, the left, and the middle, that's hinted inside the word lechem, that is the sustenance of all life. The most basic sustenance of life is bread. Why? Because to show inside there the name of the food, the Arizal says, one of the clarifications you have to do when you're eating is to look at the name of the thing that you're eating itself. So here we are, inside bread, you can see it, right? So externally and internally it's the sustenance of person, externally by way of eating it, internally by way of godly recognition of the things that are hidden behind everything, and the three Yud Kei Vav Keis that you have there. And this is in all types of different bread, right? But bread that has chametz, bread that has yeast that rises, the reality of the creation is clear there. It's like apparent. You can see there's a creation, right? And then you have to be careful there, because you might forget the reality of the Creator. And then you have lechem matzah. Then you have the bread of matzah. Shebo hachelek hachitzoni katan yoter. The external part is smaller. Enot hofech v'machmitz. It doesn't rise and it doesn't become chametz, right? And the internal aspect is very revealed. Therefore, it's called the bread of emunah, because you recognize the godly light that's inside, that everything is only from Hashem. And physically, you can see this too, right? That chametz is flour of wheat, right? Wheat flour and water. Shetafcha ve'itrachava, that rose and that expanded. Until externally it looks like a completely new creation. Right? All it is just it rose. All it did was expand, right? But a loaf of bread doesn't look like dough, right? It looks like it doesn't look like a gathering of just dough. And water. It looks like a brand new thing. Like it's as if it's itself something, right? So therefore the chametz shows about the creations, that שהשורש שלהם הוא האור יתברך, אלא שהוא הצטמצם ונסתר, right? That the root is godliness, but it got so constricted and so concealed until it's revealed externally as something new, as something that is to its own reality. But matzah is wheat, flour, and water without any rising, without any change. And therefore you see that its root, and then the matzah shows the root all the time, shows where it's rooted in, meaning the godly light that before there was expansion, before we got into details, before there was a creation, before there was something that appeared like it was separate from Hashem. Therefore, with all of this said about matzah, right? Matzah has this amazing sgula, this auspicious power to drill into us emunah, true emunah, and to save us from the mistake of pride and of ego that is hinted to in chametz, in the word chametz. Chametz in Hebrew is chet, mem, and tzadik, right? The chet if you break the chet, this is the secret here of it, that between Chametz and Matzah, it's the same letters. Hey, Mem, Tzadik, Het, Mem, Tzadik. Right? Het and Hey is the only difference. What happens? But it's the same shape. What's the difference? That the Hey has a small little break in the left side, right? What happens? This is our goal. We have to take the Chet, which is a sign of sin, and we have to bring it into Hey, which is recognition of Hashem. Why? Because Hey is made up of Dalit and of a Yud. The Dalit is the creation, 4, right? Everything in creation has at least 4 to it, right? And it's always leaning and it's always trying to be close to the Yud that's there next to it. The Yud is Hashem, obviously, is the creator. And the Dalit and the Yud are this pair, that is what's called the Hey. So what is Hey? Hey, meaning what I see, the holiness and the reality of godly light in the world that I see, is a reality that the Dalit, that the creation is trying to bow down and trying to be connected to the Yud. Trying to look for the Yud and trying to be turned towards the Yud. Right? That is the secret of Chametz and Matzah. Therefore Matzah is called the bread of affliction. Bread of poverty, so to say. Lechem oni. Because by way of it, a person recognizes the wonderful, the amazing truth. Shuani, that you really are poor, like you don't have, you're nothing. You to yourself, you don't really have anything without Hashem. You really can't do anything. Every movement that you have to take, you need to receive that power to move your finger. You have to receive that power from Hashem Yitbarach, right? So therefore a person should always be praying to be successful in his service of Hashem, knowing and recognizing that everything is only with siyata dishmaya. It's only with help from up above. And therefore it's also, this is the hint in lechem oni. Why? Because the rabbis say, lechem shonim alav dvarim arbe. Bread that they answer, onim, is to answer, right? Not oni as in poor, but onim is answers, that people answer on it a lot. Meaning, why? Because matzah, we have all these different questions, and there's this, and there's all this. We talk about matzah so much, there's so many different inyanim in it. There's this bread that people answer a lot, and they're always talking about it. So a person needs to pray, because the power of matzah is to realize that I need to pray to Hashem. And if I'm dealing with matzah, it's the bread that they answer. It's the bread of answers. And we know, right, the prayer of the poor is always answered by Hashem. So it's the same idea, that when I realize that I can't do anything by myself,
That's why Hashem's doing
exactly, he wants a relationship with us. We're not snakes. Right? A person that lives like this, they feel like a baby completely nursing on its mother, completely dependent on the mother, living with complete tranquility and immense sweetness. It's clear that everything's from Hashem Yitbarach, that Hashem is doing everything for the good. This is the light of the matzah. By way of matzah, a person, the creation, can understand properly what's going on. And you don't get tricked to think that there's importance to yourself as a separate entity besides Hashem, and to anything else in the world of this nonsense that we're trying to go through, right? And that's why it's called also Nahama da Asvata, Nahama da Asuta, the bread of healing. Why? Because what is sickness? Chazal explains, sickness, the rabbis explain, is that it happens because a person sins. Right? So what is a sin? A person thought that a person went after the world, put too much importance into this world and forgot about Hashem. Right? He went away from the path. Chet in Hebrew, this chet that we have to bring of chametz, the chet is in Hebrew means a mistake. You shoot an arrow and it misses. You miss the target, right? So exactly. So what is a chet? You missed it. You forgot the goal. It's about Hashem. It's not about this world. From that, a person gets sick. So why is then matzah the bread of healing, because matzah gives you the ability to remember that it's all about Hashem and that nothing really matters, and this cracker can give me the same sustenance of the big loaf of bread, and I'll even feel better afterwards, right? When a Jew comes to eat matzah, he's receiving the light of emunah. The light of emunah. Specifically, if a person merits to have this intention while eating it, meaning while eating it, contemplate on the emunah of the unification of Hashem and drill it deeper into your thoughts, into your emotions, and take immense pleasure into this, just being connected, right? And there's a lot of depth into of eating matzah, and the main idea is bitul, right? Bitul is probably the most important thing to work on when you're trying to grow spiritually as a Jew, like you were saying earlier, right? And derech adam, a person can be dealing with himself at all times, or he goes into the lust of this world, and he's not, or you're dealing with spirituality, right? But the reason you're dealing with spirituality is for honor and for pride and for all these different things. And even a person with a level, right, that's holding on a spiritual level, that is serving Hashem lishma for the sake of heaven, even that person is able to have a point inside, according to their level, that you feel some kind of self, some kind of ego, and is not completely dealing only for the honor and the sake of Hashem, to really live Hashem completely. Therefore, we have to eat matzah. Meaning, we have to go into the emunah and the recognition of the reality of Hashem until you get to a level of bitul, which is to know and to feel not only that everything is done by Hashem, that Hashem is the whole entire reality, and the person is completely nullified into that reality, and nothing to yourself. You're only a vessel to reveal the light of Hashem. And a person who merits to this, and feels this nullification into the true light and the reality of Hashem, merits the immense feelings of pleasure and tranquility, because in truth, this is the internal will of the soul that you have inside of you, to return and to unify again with Hashem, and not to be some kind of separate entity. Your soul wants to be clinging to the source, and that's the whole test, right? So, if this is the case, we have a big question. What's the question?
Why is everyone not doing that?
Why is everyone not eating matzah, right? Why is everybody not eating matzah the whole entire year? How is it that we go now 7 days, if you touch it, your soul's going to be cut off from the nation, from the God. This, 8th day, big burger, fat baguette. What's going on? Mimuna, everyone's making spinach, right? Mufletas, what's going on? Right, question. We have to ask, if the Chametz is the Yetzara, and it's pride, and it's ego, why do we go back to eating it afterwards? It should be that Chametz is forbidden the whole entire year.
You see, now it's kebab.
They're not, exactly, that should be the goal, right? Like all the forbidden foods, though, chametz should be forbidden, like pig. What's the difference? The answer is, the fact that a person feels some kind of presence to himself, some kind of importance to himself, some kind of ego, some kind of self, and feels some kind of reality to himself. It's needed for the service of Hashem. You have to feel yourself to serve Hashem. But you have to use it properly. A person was created in order to do actions in this world. And was given power to do this and the ability to do it. What is the ability that Hashem gave you? How are you able to do anything in this world? Where's the root of the ability to do anything in the world at all? It's rooted in that fact that you feel that you yourself have some kind of ego, some kind of presence, that I am something, right? That is the only way you could do anything in the world. Right? You have to understand, though, it's not that hayesh, right? It's not yours. It's not that you have something. Yesh, it's not that I have something. There is something. Yesh, like there is presence. There is something. What is it? It's the power of Hashem that is being revealed by way of me. It's not that I have something. There just is. There is have. There's just presence. That's all it is. Right? The person will feel that all of his ability, all of his power, and all of his reality, they were only given to you in order to reveal Hashem Yitbarach. Not that you have some kind of reality and some kind of ability and power by yourself. It's just a shaliach. What's the chance? We have a Chabadnik walk in as we say the word shaliach for the first time. It's all His power and His light, the light of Hashem, shemitgaleh ba'adam, that is revealed by way of a person. Kach she'adam hu kli legalot et or elokuto yitbarach ba'olam. Right? So a person, what is a person then? What is the essence of a person? To be a vessel to reveal God's light in the world. V'zen yikra yesh dikdusha. This is yesh dikdusha. This is a holy ego, holy sense of presence, holy sense of existence. I feel that I have ability. I feel that I have some kind of presence, some kind of importance to myself. You're not fooled in thinking and mistaken in thinking that it's yours, that it's because of you. As if you were something yourself. You feel that it's all the light, it's all the ability of Hashem. That is revealed by way of the person. That you are the vessel of that revelation. Right? So when then can you have chametz? Only after it. The way is, right? Pesach is the first holiday of the year. Right? So we're setting the tone from the beginning of understanding what are we going to be eating, what are we going to be sustaining ourselves with the whole entire year. From the beginning, we take a holiday and we say, don't touch this for 7 days. What you think is you need with the importance of your life, the sustenance, your basic bread and butter, as they say, right? Don't touch it. Right? Pesach, the beginning of the work. Only eat matzah. Just eat the simple bread. It's the bread that doesn't rise. It doesn't have any ego to itself. No pride. Lechem shemashrish et emunah, bread that just drills into us and roots into us emunah. After a week of only eating matzah, and emunah is now rooted in you, as if now you can go and eat chametz without mistakes. Therefore, in the beginning, right, we destroy and we burn all of the chametz. Meaning we go out of our pride and out of our ego completely. And we now illuminate this. We set on fire. We make it clear that we're making a mistake and we're looking at the external part of the reality as if it's something into itself. We make a big fire out of it. Look at what a mistake we're making. And we burn it. We ignite that idea that look, you're looking at the external things. After we understand that the ego and the pride is a mistake, and the creation, the person by himself is nothing. We burn these mistakes, we go straight, hard, strong into the emunah. We eat matzah. For 7 days we only eat matzah, in order to acquire and to drill into us, to root into us the knowledge and the recognition and the reality of Hashem Yitbarach and His unification. To live out the truth that there's nothing besides Hashem at all. This whole entire week we don't eat chametz at all. We completely ignore the reality of the creation. We only contemplate on the deep truth of the reality of the Creator. And then after a week of only eating matzah, when this emunah is clear and it's drilled into us and we're able to feel it, and then we can go back and we can eat chametz. Meaning, now I can go and I can deal with the reality, the reality of the creation. Right? Aval ka'et, now, after I acquired the truth, then I go into a different, when I go to deal with the creation, I'm dealing with it from a different place, in a proper perspective. Understanding that the whole entire creation is just a messenger, just an emissary for the Creator. והוא פועל רק מכוחו, and anything is only done only by way of the creation, by the Creator's power. You can't say with the Shem, I don't think, but והכל הכוח, האור והמציאות של הנברא הם האור של הבורא שמתגלה באופן הזה, right? And the only power and the light of the reality of the creation is the light of the Boreh that is being revealed by way of him. והנברא הוא כלי להוציא לפעול לגלות בעולם את אור הבורא, right? The creation is a vessel to bring out and to act and to do and to reveal the light of the creation, of the Creator in the creation. ואז אדרבה, מעלתו גדולה. Now your level is even higher. שכמל את הבורא אפילו בתוך העולם הגשמי. Now you're able to reveal the Creator even in the physical world. והוא מצליח להראות שאף שבחיצוניות נראה שיש לעולם מציאות. אין זה נכון. Even though it appears externally that there is some kind of reality to the world, it's not the truth. אלא האמת היא שרק הבורא הוא המציאות האמיתית. The Creator is the only true reality. והוא מחיה ומהווה הכל, is bringing life and existence to everything. והנבראים הם כלים ושליחים שלא לגלות את אורו. The vessels, right? The creations are just vessels and emissaries and messengers just to reveal his light. ולכן בכל השנה אוכלים חמץ. Therefore the whole year we eat חמץ. יש מציאות לנברא. There is some kind of reality to the creation. וזה מותר and it's permissible. כי אחרי שבוע של פסח, after a whole week of dealing with just אמונה, זה כבר נעשה באופן נכון. Now we're doing it properly. והנברא מגלה את אור הבורא יתברך. The creation is revealing the light of Hashem יתברך. And Baruch Hashem, now we have a footnote 33, Lamed Gimel, Lag Ba'omer, and we're going to talk a little bit about some deeper things. So, seatbelts on. שתמיד צריך להקדים את ההכרה בבורא. Always in life, right? We have to, first things first, deal with the recognition of the Creator. ורק אחר כך אפשר לנברא לפעול. Only afterwards we, as a creation, can go out and act, right? Without going into ego and falling there. בעניין היסודי זה נקרא בלשון הקדומים ימין ושמאל ואמצע. This in the ancient Kabbalist language is called right, left, and the middle. ימין, שמאל, ואמצע. ימין מרמז על אור השם יתברך. The right is a sign of the light of Hashem and his influence in the world and the power of the creation. שהוא חיות הכל והקיום הכל, which is the existence and the power and the life of everything. שמאל, the left, מרמז על מציאות הנבראים, is the reality of the creations. שהשם יתברך ברם, that Hashem created them ונתן להם כוח מסוים and gave them some kind of power to do actions in this world in his mission, his message, right? To reveal him in the world, which is the creation's whole entire purpose, and to make a dwelling place for Hashem in the lower realms, like it's written in Midrash Tanchuma, meaning that the will of Hashem is that the power of the Creator will be revealed inside the creations. Even though there's creations, that they are supposedly something to their own power, their own essence. The truth will be revealed that they were only acting by way of the power of Hashem, and everything is only being done by Hashem. So someone who only gets the right side, and it says, everything is only God, only the Creator. There's no such thing as creations at all. That's against the will of Hashem. Hashem wants to dwell down here. Hashem wants there to be a creation. And this who says there's no creations, right? The person who says it's all Hashem, there's no creation at all, there's no world at all. You're nullifying the tachtonim, the lower realms. You're nullifying the creation. The person who only holds on the left side, right? Says the main thing is that we have to act. The main thing is only that we go out and we do and we have a mission to do. We have to go out and we have to act. He's also making a blemish in this idea of Hashem dwelling down here. He's nullifying the fact that Hashem is dwelling. And he's not revealing the Creator in the creation. And this is kfirah, this is mamash heresy. All the power of the creations is only from the power of the Creator that created them and is giving them life in every single moment. And all of their ability, all of their power is only as emissaries and messengers at any given moment Ve'en lehem shum koach atzmi. They have no power to themselves. And the proper way is the middle path. That you unify right and left. Externally, right, I do. But everything that I'm doing is only from a desire that I want to remember clearly that is only the power of Hashem and He's the only one that's doing. And this gives me the ability to go out and do proper actions in the world. Therefore, we always need to increase the right over the left, like it's known, right? Right over the left. Always we have to go into everything on the right side. First things first, to remember and to know that it's all Hashem Yitbarach and I have no power at all. Only as a messenger for Him. And only after that I can go into the left side and start to do what Hashem is sending me to go do in the world. Right? So then we go into the burning of the Chametz.
Oh, that's Lechem. That's 3:26.
There you go. Ve'inu be'erev Pesach. Right? So on Erev Pesach, we check for Chametz. And we take it, we gather it, and we burn it, right? What's internally, what are we talking about when we mean the burning of Pesach? To burn the chametz that's inside our heart. The pride, the ego, the feeling that I'm something by myself. Everyone on their own level, everyone what they know what they have to work on in their heart. We all have this that we have to work on, right? In order to inherit on Pesach this deeper level of emunah, this deeper connection with Hashem, of a reality of this world, what's the truth, the true reality down here? You have to prepare a pure, clean vessel. And to clean your heart from pride. Right, part of B'dikat Chametz is to part of checking Chametz is to do tshuva. Right, part of the internal work is to do tshuva and to go into the works.
Fallen, misplaced pride.
Yeah.
Fallen.
Right, so we have to make tshuva. We have to go into the hearts, and we have to go into the 4 rooms of the heart and search for all of the little pieces of Chametz there. But the person and himself on his side, if a person, you yourself, don't try a little bit to make an effort to clean your pride, to clean your ego up, to clean the chametz that you have in your heart, how can you expect to be able to receive the light of matzah, to understand the true revelation of Hashem in the world? Hashem, it's written, right, about a person who has pride, has a haughty chest. It says, "Ein ani v'hu yacholim ladur b'dira echad." It's impossible for me and him to be in the same place.
That is translated as haughtiness or arrogance.
Arrogance, yeah. Right? A person who has that is not. Hashem can't be in the midst of that because. Obviously, right? It's clear that if it's about me and if it's all there, then it's not about Hashem, and then there's no room for Hashem, so to say. This is the internal work. Whenever we're cleaning up, anytime we're going to clean for Pesach, physically you're cleaning the chametz, and you have to be thinking about the truth, the reality of the Ein Sof, the infinite light. That a person is not anything at all. That he has no power to himself. Everything is just from Hashem. We're in His hands just like a baby leaning on his mother, right? So we have a lot of tests on Erev Pesach, before Pesach, right? Like the pressure, all of the preparations that we have to do, everything that we need to do. Because if a person thinks that he's the one that's doing, and you have to be successful, then you get pressured. You might get down to anger if they start to interrupt you and start to bother you. The intention of Hashem is that we'll work on this as a preparation towards Pesach. Therefore, every time the Yetzer Hara comes to try to bring a person down and to give them pressure before Pesach, you need to clean and to get angry and no one's helping and you need to stop and to think and to repeat to yourself all the time. For a period of time, a little bit, take for yourself a few minutes to breathe I have nothing to get angry about. I have nothing to be stressed about. I know it's all from Hashem. He's the only one that's doing anything. I'm just a messenger here. If I do according to my ability, there's no complaints against me. Even more so, if I get stressed, it's showing that I have some kind of pride and some kind of ego and some kind of thought that I'm the one that's doing it, and everything's depending on me and my actions. And when you repeat this again, and emunah again and again and again, more every time you feel pressure, then you'll see immense wonders with the help of Hashem. Without Hashem, you're going to see miracles, because every time you get stressed, you start to, it's not me, Hashem is the really one doing. I'm going to do my best, but I'm not going to get stressed because this is all I can do. Right? Then you start to see miracles, mamash. Don't only contemplate, ask Hashem for the help. Ana, Avi b'shem shamayim, please Hashem, my Father in heaven, ten li emunah kach shelo yichaz v'lo yilchaz. Give me the emunah that I won't get angry and I won't get pressured. I'm going to be calm. I know you're doing everything, so I'm going to be chilled out. This is the internal preparation that we have to do in the lights leading up to Leil Seder, to the night of Pesach. Therefore, the day before Pesach, there's a lot of tests. There's more and more tests because you're getting prepared for immense bitul. Bina nazot, right? Pay attention not to fall into this trap, into this dump, right? Every time you get tested, just to stop. To stand like a soldier in a war. To stop and to breathe from thoughts and talks and speech of emunah. And these tests, they're only coming to return and remind us internally about Chametz and Matzah. Emunah. Because whoever gets angry and whoever gets stressed or gets angry or gets sad, it's showing that he's thinking that he's in charge and responsible for everything. And that by way of this, you're doing the opposite of what Hashem was trying to do with this whole entire mitzvah of preparing for Pesach. Right? There's scary things, but v'yitpalel v'yishtokek, so you have to pray and you have to long, when will I merit to get out of my pride? Get out of my ego and to get properly into the deeper recognition, to live true and more with Hashem. When will I merit to a full emunah? She'adavar ha'ma'aneg biyoter sheyesh, is the most pleasant, most pleasureful thing in the world. Chai Gan Eden, the life of Gan Eden, life of paradise. Chai Neshamot, the life of soul. Chaim Amitim, the life of truth. True life. Kmo chen, so too, bet srifat hachametz. So too when I go to burn the chametz. And I'm standing there and I'm burning the physical chametz, then so too, toch kidei kach, while I'm doing that, contemplate that I'm burning the chametz, the spiritual chametz that's inside my heart. Lisrof et kol hargashat yeshut ve'agava, to burn all of the feelings of pride and false pride and ego, and all of the thoughts as if that I'm the one that's doing and I'm the one that needs to be successful, I'm the one that failed. And pray that you will merit to live as a brand new person, a brand new vessel, clean, to the complete, immense, beautiful light that's coming down on this holy night of Pesach. It's very, 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 very dependent on your intention. The more you think about it and you repeat it to yourself, this truth, and you pray for it and you contemplate it and you long for it, the more you're going to merit to have this, the more you're going to merit to live with it properly. There's different shamot that you can think, but just to summarize, right? Matzah is emunah, is pure emunah, and from its ability, from eating matzah, a person has the ability to understand that everything is done by Hashem, everything is just from Hashem. And in correspondence, on the other side of that, and opposing that, is chametz, which is the yetzer hara, and it pulls a person to think that about himself and to fall into pride and into ego. And in Erev Pesach, the day before Pesach, a person needs to burn the chametz. Right? Because it brings us to think that we're the ones that are doing everything, as if I'm the one that has some kind of reality to myself, and it causes us to forget Hashem in His unity, that there's nothing besides Him at all, and have intention when you're coming to check for the chametz, and to burn the chametz, to burn all of the chametz that's in your heart, and to recognize that a person is nothing without Hashem, and all of his reality and all of his ability is only the light and the power from Hashem. And afterwards on Pesach, while you're eating your matzah, intend to receive the true light of Hashem and to remember to live the reality she'enod milvado klal, that there's nothing besides Hashem at all. Anivra eno klum, the creation is nothing by himself, just like he showed us in Yetziat Mitzrayim, just like he showed us when we were leaving Egypt, that the creation is in his hands completely and nullified and completely before him. And then after Pesach, I'm able to return and to think about the creation of this world and the reality of the creation, and that I need to go out and I need to do, but I'm going to do it from a remembrance, a living, vital experience that a person is nothing by himself, and all of his ability and power to do anything, the reality that he feels is only as an emissary and a messenger to be a vessel to Hashem Yitbarach. And by way of this, a person go into living, into working and serving Hashem properly the whole entire year, and you'll live without ego and without false pride, rather with bitul, nullification to Hashem, and emunah and complete loyalty and faith in Hashem, and you'll merit to live true life of pleasure and to make Hashem a dwelling place down here. Amen. Ken Yehi Ratzon.